Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. So, this last month of February, I participated in Feybruary. It was a fairy-themed art contest? No, not contest. Competition? No. Challenge, where you got a plant, and you then turned it into a fairy thingy. How I did mine is I've got my random box of random prompts. That's mostly animals, but some other things. And I pulled a prompt at random and mixed it with the plants. And this is what I got, guys. Enjoy! The fish like Negi are reclusive and quiet. When the sun is bright and the house is quiet, you can sometimes hear their rooted feet scamper in the sunbeams when you're not looking. They are not a particularly helpful sprite. They do not help with cleaning or bring particular good fortune to your home. In fact, they can be minorly troublesome, causing potatoes and onions to sprout in the cupboards. Some people like having them around nonetheless, with a fresh green onion smell that follows them around everywhere. Life Everlasting is a creature that you'll often find lounging in the window of an apothecary shop. Only growing the size of a small kitten, some larger shop owners might even have a few scampering about. The flowers that grow from their large ears and tails can be used in some general healing remedies. Young girls often want a Life Everlasting for a pet because their flowers can also be used in love-seeking spells, though unreliable. They make good companions for a short term, but if they do not feel like you are mutually beneficial to their lives, they are known to wander off in search of other companionship. While the temperament of the bloodroot may seem friendly enough of a fae found in the wild, you must tread carefully around it. Should the creature be injured, and you happen to touch the produced bodily liquid, your body will be faced with immediate burning and necrosis of the flesh. The effect is so instantaneous that people avoid a patch of bloodroot at all costs. Few people have been brave enough to interact with the creatures because of the dangers, but also, those who do say you can find a true friend in the little insect-like fae. Khaki stand as one of the largest fae. The bipedal tree moves swiftly most of the time, but as its leaves fall off and the fruit begin to ripen, it moves more gently, so not to damage its precious cargo. The orange fruits that grow over its branches start hard, stiff, and incredibly bitter, but as the flesh softens, the taste sweetens, and it becomes a delicacy. The khaki puts a lot of energy in finding the best light and water sources to grow the plumpest, tastiest fruits. If you approach with care and befriend the fae, it might be willing to share with you the fruit of its efforts. It is surely a taste you will not soon forget. The gobo is a highly reclusive and defensive creature. If cornered, it will shake its fur and release a storm of sharp spines and hairs that can not only scrape and irritate the skin, but cause general damage to the eyes and even to the respiratory system. Should you be able to approach one carefully enough, the leaves and roots that can be harvested from the fae's tail can be used in a highly purifying tea, known for the cleaning of blood and aiding in the treatment of some cancers. Because of poaching for these ingredients, these creatures are highly endangered. The moral is a bird-like fae that stands as tall as a small child. Despite hundreds of years of attempts, no one has managed to successfully domesticate the creature. Highly prized for its full flavor, the creature is sought after by chefs the world over. Outside of culinary exploits, the moral is seen as an omen of rebirth and a good omen after disaster. They tend to thrive in areas after wildfires, and hundreds of them can be seen scratching through the dust and ash. Some cultures even equated them to a species of phoenix, with their unpleasant appearance and tendency to congregate in burned landscapes. The Daikon is another unusual and edible fae. They begin their life burrowed deep beneath the earth, with their tails above the ground soaking in the world's nutrients. Most often, they would prefer to live their life in this upside-down state. When pulling them from the ground, they begin to scream loudly and flap about with their thick, tubular, wings. The creature is unable to fly due to the heavy mass. It is quite easy to be bludgeoned by a rather large Daikon if one is not careful. The food produced from the creature is mild, but quite popular. The area where they really do shine is the ground where these creatures are pulled from is left considerably more fertile in their absence. The earth, in the end, being considered more valuable than the Fae itself. Incredibly intelligent, the Mimosa fascinates many magicians throughout the world. They have an intense learning ability not seen in any other non-verbal Fae. They are able to react to outside stimuli and alter the behaviors with only 1 or 2 exposures. It is thought that if their lifespan was longer than 6 or 7 years, one could be taught the basics of human language. They are popular also with traveling shows, since it's so easy to teach them tricks. Their mammal-like appearance and dog size makes many people seek them out as pets, and they make amazing companions. Though some people cannot handle the loss of such a good companion only every few years. The Kalusha is another Fae that is followed by bad omens. The plant, while growing and ripening, shows no magic, movement, or life outside of a regular pumpkin. Something changes, though, when the plant begins to rot. The creature seems to really come to life once it begins to rot, and is a mischievous spirit, spreading the rot to other surrounding vegetables to create short-lived friendships. They're also known to enjoy causing general havoc by knocking over and breaking just about anything they can get their roots on. While there is a non-animated version of the plant known as Western Wasabi, there is an intense culture in the East of the raising and cultivation of these fierce little creatures. One scratch from the talons of wasabi can leave the burliest person crying to the nearest doctor, as the flesh quickly becomes inflamed and burns. The secret to carefully caring for this spicy flavored Fae is kept close to the few families willing to raise them. No matter how long one is cared for, the irritable demeanor never changes, and that has not been able to be bred from them, despite thousands of years of attempts. The Toadflax Fae is one of a bygone era. The unusually human-like creatures who resemble most the idea of fairies and pixies either never existed the way we think they did, or have long since gone extinct. All that remains of these delicate creatures are our stories. A popular children's game has sprung up from the old myths, where you go fairy hunting for a toadflax. Some children have begged their parents for small dolls resembling the Fae from the tales so they can hide them in the forest and go searching for them with friends. Some stories tell of toadflax dolls being lost in the woods and inexplicably finding their way back into the bedrooms of sleeping children. But those are just silly tales. The Pholiota is by far one of the most helpful creatures on this list. Standing about the size of a small child, these creatures are often welcomed into homes as companions and in some cases well-loved servants. They have a childlike disposition, and while they cannot speak, they understand human languages if taught. They can carry out basic tasks and in general are fun to be around. They emit a pleasant scent to people they are fond of that has been described as lemon, garlic, onions, or radish. A few who have been known to be unkind to Pholiota have described their scent as skunk-like. The Gingo Leaf is an incredibly small Fae that resembles a little insect soldier, and in fact, that is what it is. The Gingo Leaf Fae lives in colonies of hundreds or even thousands depending on the size of their tree. They will do anything to protect their trees from outside forces, and in fact have led to the continued life of a nearly prehistoric type of flora. No one knows really if the relationship between the Fae and the plant is symbiotic or familial. The seeds of the ginkgo tree are thought to have some aphrodisiac-like qualities and some basic healing properties, but good luck getting close enough to harvest them. Like the kabocha or the daikon, the yuzu is a Fae that, as a plant, is largely inert until a certain stimulus awakens the magic and animate the Fae. In this case, it's oddly specific. When a yuzu fruit is placed in a hot bath, an amazing thing happens. A long snake-like head appears along with turtle-like legs, and the creature will begin to swim around the bathwater, emitting the most wonderful citrus scent. Bathing with yuzu is known as the most effective cure for the common cold known to man. It's also an amazingly relaxing thing to watch the little yellow creatures happily swim about. Once removed from the water, or once the water is no longer warm, the Fae returns just to a normal yellow fruit, leaving you to wonder if it actually swam about your bathwater or not. While largely hated by farmers and gardeners for spreading weeds whenever they take flight, dandelions are a Fae most often kept as pets by young children. They are easy to capture while running through open fields, and their gentle, loving nature makes them real quality pets. They only live for a handful of years and grow to the size of a raven. Once all of its seeds are eventually spread, the dandelion finds a quiet place in a shaded patch of earth to pass on. Not long after, though, a flower will sprout, birthing a new baby dandelion, earning the creature of the name phoenixweed. I hope you guys liked today's video. I had a lot of fun coming up with the kind of background story to go with these guys. Did you guys participate in Feybruary? Which one of my Fae was your favorite? Before I let you guys go, I just want to kind of call out my Patreon. Thank you, Violet. My highest level patrons can get access to a digital sketch every month, and my medium level patrons have access to a critique, should they want it, in writing or in artwork, because I'm both an English and an art teacher, and sometimes I like to use those skills. Anyway, until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye!